because as we know, there are known knowns. There are things we know we know. We also know there are known unknowns. That is to say, we know there are some things we do not know. But there are also unknown unknowns, the ones we don't know we don't know.
Yes, yes, yes. It's the, it's not boxing talk with Rafi, is it? What is it? It is the Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte training pick controversy. Are we going to be having a glimpse into, well, more than a glimpse? We're going to be taking a deeper look into it. Okay, so let me get the picture up. Let me get the appropriate picture up. Okay, that's the one. Let me get the banner off. Okay, so you are in tune to Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. We're doing a look, taking a look into the picture that has caused much controversy. And yeah, I think it is only right. Okay. I haven't received a notification that we are live. Waiting for the notification. As a matter of fact, rat-tat-tat-tat, I know what we do. I know what we do at these times. Okay, so let's go into the warming video. Let me line this baby up right here. Let me line it up. Let me line this up and let me get this picture off. Let me get all the pictures off, so your viewing pleasure will not be impeded. Okay, let's get this down and share my screen. Okay, I think that's it. Is that it? Let's kill the music. Let's kill the music and let's have a look, see how it shows up on the screen. Let's make it a bit bigger. Let's get the volume right. Okay, so let's do this.
Yes, yes, yes. Bringing to you a previously unseen photo of none other than the WBC champion Tyson Fury, newly appointed, and the WBC #1 contender, Dillian Whyte, the body snatcher. And I think sometimes words aren't even needed. Many of you will know that these two trained together back in the Dizay, but I haven't really seen much footage of them. There's not much pictorial evidence of this, only 1 and 2 photos here and there. But I think this is perhaps the most striking picture of them together. With Dillian Whyte looking in very, very good shape. Likewise, Tyson Fury. The question is, what year? What year was this picture taken in? When were they training back in the design? Was it around 2014, 13, 15? I haven't been able to pin down the date, done some research but can't get a date. Does anyone know the date of this picture? Very interested. Both of them looking in tip-top condition. Like I said, sometimes words aren't needed. They're superfluous. So, the point of this video is to bring to you a hitherto unseen picture of WBC champion and the WBC number 1, Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte. Okay. Anybody know a date? Let me know. It's part of the research project. Okay. So it's the Raphael Dawkins. It's the like, it's the subscribe, it's the comments, it's the shares, and it's the hitting of that bell icon. Stay updated with news and notifications. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. And don't forget about the live shows. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 9 p.m. UK time. That's 4 in the East and 1 in the West. Okay, tune in tonight. Rick Glazer interview and Q&A. And it's the Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte looking in spectacular form when they were training together back in the early 2010s, 11s, 12s, 13s. You tell me. Raphael Dawkins, out.
Okay. So let me get the proper music in now. Let me get the proper music in now. Where is it? Okay. Excellente. Let me close those windows down. Let me mute those windows. What's this going on here? What's going on here? Are you free to talk? Trying to organize a debate. I left the link to the chat, my friend. Link in the chat. What's going on? You can see the link surely. Okay. Still have not received. Still have not received the notification that we are live. What's going on? Stop sharing that. What's going on? Let me get the picture up. Let me get the picture up. Get banner down. Boom. Let's get into what's going on. Okay, so we got somebody in here. These guys look like they're auditioning for the new Village of People. OMG. OMG. Well, let me get the volume up on this a little bit. Okay, so where are we? Oh, okay. So now we're live. Now we're live. Now I received the notification. Like what? 9 minutes in? Damn, YouTube, come on. Maybe I should have, perhaps I should have posted this up on Twitter. That's what I should have done. That's exactly what I should have done. Who's in here? Wild Soul. Wild Soul, give me a minute. Let me just get this up on Twitter. As a matter of fact, hold on a second. I got an even better idea. While I'm doing that, I can do this. Let me share my screen again. Keep you guys entertained. Okay, so let's share this. Boom. 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 Okay, you'll see the pertinence, the relevance of this You'll see the relevance of this shortly. Let's kill the volume on that. Matter of fact, let's take a little bit of the speed off that. Slow it down just a little bit. Okay, let me see. Let me see if I'm sharing. Let me see if I'm sharing. Damn. It's a good thing I checked. You got something obscuring your vision. Let me hold and pull that. Hold and pull that back from the TOP. Hopefully you should be seeing this by now. What's going on here? What's going on here? It's still obscured. What is going on? Get that off. So theoretically, you should be seeing what I'm seeing. Okay, we're good now. We're good now. They should do some bodybuilding. David Douglas, Wild Soul 88, both in the building. Let me just send out this link to Twitter, and then I can get back to you. And with full focus. Where are we? You know what? I'll do it after the show. I want to stay focused. Stay on track. Okay, so what are we talking about? We're talking about the controversy of the training picture, which I posted up in a video yesterday. It was just yesterday. And I posed the question. When did Fury, Tyson Fury, he was trying to date. We're trying to get a date on the picture. We were trying to get a date on the picture. And one of the questions that I thought might help, one of the questions was, when did Tyson Fury last have hair? When did he last have hair? And I had to go back. Through his through his record. Try to establish exactly when was the last time Tyson Fury was sporting hair. And if we pause this just for a little bit, and we do stop sharing that for a moment, and we go back and do the research, which I did yesterday. As a matter of fact, let me share this. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, let's make this a little bigger so you guys can see on your devices. So yeah, we had to find out. Let's get this right. Let's get the picture up. Yeah, we had to find out when was Tyson Fury last sporting hair? And is that it? Is that order? Is that visual? Is that visible? Let's make it just a little. Let's make it a tad bigger. Okay, I think this is better. Okay, so we had to go back and find out when Tyson Fury was last sporting hair, because in the picture, let's bring that to the forefront. In the picture, you see there, Tyson Fury still wearing hair. So we had to go back in time and search. Okay, so went back. We know he didn't have hair against Vladimir Klitschko. Christian Hamer, I think he had a little bit of hair. Maybe not. No. 9/20/15. No. 9/20/14. No. Had a little bit of hair, still sporting hair for the Joey Abel fight. And we know that was in the February of 2014. And so I went back, did the research, and found that the last time Tyson Fury was wearing hair was in, April of 2013. That's the last time Tyson Fury was wearing hair. April 2013, a little bit early 2014. So let's say by the end of 2013, the hair was pretty much gone. Made a little bit of appearance with the Joey Abel fight, but it was pretty much gone by the end of 2014. Okay, so then we go back. And we look at the picture. Remember, we were trying to date the picture. So we know that this picture took place by the latest, realistically speaking, by the latest 2013, by the end of 2013. So what we're talking, 2010, around 2010 to 2014, highly likely. So we've dated the picture. Maybe 2010 to 2014. We've dated it. Okay, so what's the purpose of this live? Well, the purpose of this live is because the responses, the responses to the video comments was highly interesting. I think we should go over and take a look for ourselves. Okay, so let's get this out the way. Matter of fact, put it back. Boom. Okay. Right. Stop sharing that. Let's go to the video responses, the video response section. And with my improved skills, perhaps I can actually share them with you. Go back one. Are we sharing? Are we sharing yet? No. Okay. Yes. We have them up. Let me share that with you. Boom. Okay, so let's get that out of the way. There we go. Looking nice and clear. Can I take it up a notch? Let me take that up one notch. How's that looking on the screen? Okay, so you should be seeing what I'm seeing now. Okay, so the responses were very, very interesting. Boom, close that down. Okay. It's amazing. Yeah, that's not the one. This sounds weird, but look at Tyson's hair. Reckon this was the summer of 2011. Prior to Chisora v. Fury 1. Yeah, but it could have been after. Could have been anywhere up to 2014. The beginning of 2014. So I've got it between maybe 2010 and 2014. Somewhere up in there, as Deontay Wilder might say. Okay, so great find, no doubt. No doubt in my mind that this version of Dillian Whyte was a beast. It's prior to his ban. So between 2011 and 2012. Yeah, well, I'd put a year on each side of that. So 2010 to 2013. Yeah, I think that works. Okay. And here's where it gets funny. Here's where it gets funny. The thumbnail is an advert for Diana Ball. So, you know, it's like this is where we're going. This is where we are going. Both guys were in great shape. We're going to get back to we can get back to the picture right now for a second. Both guys were in great shape, but this leads us to the question. If you're in great shape, does it mean that you are, you know, taking some extra stuff? Are you taking some extra stuff if you're in good shape? Is that what it is? That is the question. That is the question that we're asking ourselves as we look through some of these. You may need to share the link in another way. Oh, that's interesting. YouTube rejected your comment. This is fairly common when sharing a link. You may need to share the link in another way. How bizarre. How interesting. I was just going to drop the link in there for anybody you want. Okay, so it went through this time. I was just going to drop the link for anybody who wanted it. It told me that YouTube rejected your comment. This is fairly common when sharing a link. Is it really? I've never seen it before. You may need to share the link in another way. It's gone through the second time around as it should have done the first time. Nay, bother. So, yeah, the question is, two guys in shape, does that automatically equate to younger in their career? Does that automatically equate to usage of the special stuff? Is that what it is? Does it automatically equate to usage of the special stuff? I find that very, very interesting. Wild Soul says they're both looking juiced. Both looking juicy. OMG. OMG. Okay, so let's come out of that. Let's stop sharing the pic and get back into the comment section. Comment section of the video I posted yesterday. Okay, so let's make sure nothing is obscuring the images. YouTube lagging by about 20 seconds. Most bizarre. Okay, so we're clear now. Okay, so the comment section. Okay. When White was on the Okay. Let's go into the responses. So who sold it to him? Tyson? Me. Celtic Live. Dorian Yates, by the looks of it, son. Dorian Yates, the British bodybuilder, 6-time Mr. Olympia. I ask. Oh, Martin Clearfoot, not reliable enough? Clearfoot. I tell you who you should ask. AJ's doctor who gives him the heart medication that means he can gain mass and have 5% body fat. Oh, so there you see, there we see what we're talking about. I post a picture of Deontay, well, no, not Deontay Wilder. I post a picture of, where is it? There it is. Where is it? That's not it. Boom. There it is. I post a picture of Dillian Whyte and Tyson Fury, and boom. Looking in good shape, and boom. Somehow, AJ Anthony Joshua gets inserted into the picture. It's highly, highly, highly bizarre to me. Bizarre to me. Okay, so let's continue. Let us continue on. We haven't come to the end of this yet. We're not at the end of this. Okay, so it is suggested that you should ask AJ's doctor who gives him heart medication. I didn't know he had a bad heart. And the real traveler comes back in. Nah, AJ is the dealer. Damn. Okay. We've got another estimation there. We got from Ray Corey. He estimates it's between 2008 and 2009. Remember, I've got Tyson Fury last having hair in early 2014. So safely, we're looking at, I would say, 2010 to 2013. Okay. Oh dear, Gary Moore, juiced up. Damn, is that picture juicy? Where are we? Is that picture juicy? I don't know. Much speculation going on. Let us continue. Okay. Who? Fury or White? Gary Moore, clearly white. Damn. What was Fury on at those times? Nandrolone or the wild boar meat and entrails? Oh, OMG. No response from Gary Moore yet. Okay. So Adam Oliver. From Adam Oliver, I like White, but he definitely was on the juice in that pic. His body has never looked like that. His body looks like Anthony Joshua's in this pic. Lol. Okay. So let's get to the responses. That tells me AJ is on the juice. OMG. What was my response? Oh, it's ironic that the only guy here not being called a steroid user is the only one convicted of steroid use. Mr. Tyson Fury, please stand up. OMG. And that's kind of ironic to me. That's kind of very ironic to me. That you have, what's this going to end up in? That you have two guys in a picture. And a third guy gets put in the picture. A guy who is not in the picture gets put in the picture. And that tells me that AJ is on the juice. But my question is, what tells you AJ is on the juice? A comment by Adam Oliver? I like White, but he definitely was on the juice in that pic. His body has never looked like that. His body looks like Anthony Joshua's. OMG. It is It's crazy to me. It's bizarre. Truly is bizarre. Okay, let me stop sharing that. Boom. It's truly bizarre. You got two guys in a picture where only one of them has been convicted of steroid usage. PED, well, steroids. With Dillian Whyte, he got busted. He got busted for, what was it? What was it, a drink? Or was it Jack 3D? He got busted for pre-workout drink. Never actually for roids. That was first time around. Second time around, or was there some kind of abnormal reading? The lab came back. The British Boxing Board of Control came back and said, okay, we've looked into it and there was contamination not from Dillian Whyte. What's going on here? 2014 was a good year for balding men. That was the last time I had hair. But I lost my hair because of male pattern baldness. Fury lost his hair because of the juicy. The juicy. Okay, it's madness. It's complete and utter madness. How there's only one guy out of the, with only two guys in the picture, and then AJ. AJ's name gets thrown into it. It is quite bizarre. When out of the three, only one has tested positive for the juicy. But yeah, he gets thrown. Other people get thrown in on top of it. It is strange to me that someone could say that this is not naturally achievable. This kind of condition is not naturally achievable if you're training 5 times a week, sometimes twice in one day. It's outrageous to me. So where do we go? Where do we go from here? Do we take a look? Do we take a look at the last time when Tyson Fury had hair? Is that what we do now? Is that what we're doing? We can do that. Okay, so let's share our screen. Before we share our screen, let's get rid of anything that's going to block your vision, hinder your vision. Okay, I think we're good. Let's get into it. Boom, it's too big. Let's bring this down just a bit. Okay, so what we got here. All right, this looks good. Let's go. So last time Tyson Fury had here, I think this was when? This was 2013. Let me confirm that. Yeah, Steve Cunningham. That was April 2013. Last time Tyson Fury was sporting hair in great condition. So I reckon 2010, between 2010 and 2014, that's when that picture was taken. That's when the picture was taken. This was the last time Tyson Fury Tyson Fury in feisty mood, very feisty, very aggressive Aggressive mood. No mess. Oh. What? OMG. OM. Game. What happened? Game. Was open to the big right. Boom. Open to the big right. Deep breath. Breathe in. Inhale the future. Exhale the past. Waves him in. Okay, so that is it. It was just a quick one. Going over the controversy of Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte. The picture of Dillian Whyte versus... What's this buffering business going on? That's ridiculous. Dillian Whyte and... Let me stop this. Let's stop this. Appropriate place to stop. Tyson Fury's been working on that headlock for some time now. But let's bring the picture back in to remind us of what we were talking about. And we're talking about the Tyson Fury Dillian Whyte training pic causing mass hysteria, causing a lot of controversy. A lot of people saying that old Dilly Boy was having some chemical assistance. Whilst in the meantime, we got the guy behind him who was proven to have had chemical assistance. Dillian Whyte, only a pre-workout drink. It was highly hilarious to me, and I thought I had to jump on for a quick one to talk about it. Because it was crazy. It's crazy to me. And then what's even more ironic is that Anthony Joshua, who's never tested positive for anything, gets thrown up. He gets thrown up in the mix. Where's the comment section I showed you earlier? Yeah, let me bring that comment section that I showed you earlier. Let me bring that back in to the interesting comments that were left. Hold on. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the comments. Where are the comments? Yeah. Where is it? Yeah, that's where it is. Boom. Oh. It's gone back. It's gone back to the shrunken state. Let's get that to a visible level where you can see it. Let us scroll down. I think the last comment was a very interesting one. There it is. I like Whyte, but he definitely was on the juice. But was he though? Was he definitely on the juice? I'm not saying he was. I'm not saying he wasn't. That's the point for discussion. He's definitely on the juice in that pic. His body has never looked like that. His body looks like Anthony Joshua's. OMG. Then the real traveler comes in and says, that tells me AJ is on the juice. Really? Does that make any, is that an intelligent deduction? Is that an intelligent deduction to make a deduction from this statement to deduce that AJ is on the juice? Is that intelligent? Well, it's ironic that the only guy here not being called a user is the only one is the only one convicted of use. Mr. Tyson Fury, please stand up. Please stand up. Damn. I heard a pop. I heard a pop. Took me by surprise. Took me by surprise. And in comes a man like John D. Lee. John D. Lee, how do you do?
Good afternoon, Raphael.
It's a very nice afternoon. Did the show with Rick Glazer last night, and I thought it was a real good show. I did less planning on that one than I normally did, and it turned out as good as per usual, showing you that mixed training can work out. Just mixing things up nicely.
Raphael was just on the freestyle yesterday, were you?
I was just doing the freestyle, and I've seen some clouds that I just noticed out my window. They look like balls of wool. They don't even look real. Damn. They look
got that picturesque sunny day in Brum.
Picturesque as hell. They look like it's just masses of cotton wool. Looks beautiful. Yeah, bro, I did the Rick Glazer thing, and I had the energy. We finished that nice and sweetly, and I had the energy to go live again. Wasn't scheduled to go live until Friday, but you know, we got to we do this for the boxing, the Raphael Dawkins boxing talk community, and everybody, actually, all boxing fans. They're more than welcome over here, as you know, John. So yeah, I had the energy, I thought, and I saw the responses to that video, which I thought some of them were quite outrageous. Quite outrageous for is it so crazy that guys in their early 20s can achieve such a conditioning? That was my question. I had to go live. And let people have their say.
I'm glad you're on this, Raph.
Yeah.
What people need to go and do, they need to get a good picture of Primo Carnero, who was active in 1934. Testosterone was not isolated and produced until, I think, 35 by Sieber.
Yeah.
No way that Primo Carnero was able to have access to any form of steroid or artificial testosterone before he stepped in a boxing ring. If you have a good look at him, and it's hard with old photos, it's very difficult to believe his body fat was much higher than 10%.
Yeah.
He stood 6 foot, between 6'5" and 6'6", and weighed between 250 and 260 pounds.
I've got a picture of him now.
That's a fat-free mass index of 26.
Look
26. So he's above the so-called natty limit.
Yeah.
He's shorter than AJ, heavier than AJ, and 100% natural. So people just need to get over this idea that the only way you can get a good physique is taking steroids. It's just not the case. Go and look at Ken Norton. I'm pretty confident Kenny never took any gear. Ken Norton's arguably got one of the best physiques in boxing history.
Yes.
He's got a much better physique than AJ. I mean, if you're going to get real about it, totally better physique. And he wasn't the puncher. He wasn't that punch resistant either. Like, I know he's not here to defend himself, so I'm not going to name him.
Yeah.
But we've had people saying on your show that steroids make you a better athlete across the board.
Yeah.
They don't. What they do, they enable you to pack mass on and lift heavier weights in the gym. That doesn't that picture doesn't actually do that good a justice to him as well.
I've seen him more ripped than that.
Well, I think he actually is ripped. I think it's the flash bulbs.
Yeah, but if you look at the thickness, I'll still search for better.
If you actually have a look at his armpit crease, there's very minimal fat wrinkles in his armpit crease, which is actually a pretty good indication.
Yeah.
So even from that photo, you can see his body fat probably is actually pretty low.
It's very low.
It's certainly comparable to AJ, who carries a lot more body fat than people realise, I think.
Yes, I
know. Not a bad thing. I mean, it's not bodybuilding.
Not obese levels, but he does carry more body fat than people tend to
Yeah.
acknowledge.
So the chances are AJ is below an FFMI of 25 anyway.
Yeah.
At 250 pounds at a 10% body fat, he's still only like 26. And I think AJ's body fat's higher than that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the heaviest he's ever been against Klitschko.
Yeah.
So against Ruiz, he was only like 238, wasn't he?
Yes, he was 238. That in that ballpark area.
So let's just say 240s as an average sort of weight. He's got a fat-free mass index of around 25, which is the natural limit if his body fat is 10%. If his body fat's higher than 10%, then he's well within it. So it's what you've talked about on numerous occasions. And anyone that's been involved in sport at a sort of junior level, I knew kids growing up. I was at Birchwood Harriers. We had lots of athletes.
Yeah.
And everyone, like I stopped when I was 14.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some of the guys there, you know, they were like men at that age, and they had full developed physiques. Because what people don't realize, sprinting or develop a physique, you don't actually need to touch any weights.
You don't need to touch weights. Some of the best developed people are sprinters.
Yeah, and look at gymnasts, male gymnasts.
Oh yeah, them too.
Right. Well, they don't touch weights. They don't want to get big because it's counterproductive to what they're trying to achieve.
Of course.
But the body weight exercises they're doing are so challenging, it just forces the development of their physique. But they'd actually benefit from having less muscle. So, you know, everyone just seems to be fixated these days that you have to take steroids to have a physique. But there's some pretty clear-cut examples in the past of before steroids existed of, you know, what was achievable.
Hell yes. I was hoping you'd jump on because I know you have it's a different voice. If people are just hearing it from me, they'll say, Rafi, now stop it, Raf, stop, Raf. But you know, hearing it from an independent source is good. I wanted independent sources, independent people to come on and have their say. Is this picture real? Looks strange. I think he's talking about the previous picture, the Dillian Whyte and Tyson Fury picture. We'll get back to that in a second. Didn't I just read this? Whyte muscular for nothing. One person he will always fear for life is AJ, or else he will get a second KO. Can't really decipher that. Don't really know the meaning of that. Whyte muscular for nonsense. One person for nonsense.
Is he talking about Primo Canero? I mean, he wasn't a good boxer. I mean, I'm not trying to put him forward as anything.
No, I'm definitely talking about Whyte. I think he's talking about Whyte. One person he will always fear is AJ, or else he will get KO. So
I don't think Dillian's afraid of anybody.
I don't get it.
I don't think Dillian's afraid to get knocked out. That's the bottom line.
I don't. Yeah, totally not.
Like if you knock him out, I don't think it bothers him. He'd be afraid of being seen to be a coward. I think that's what bothered Dillian.
Yeah, he's gonna go for it, mate. He's gonna go for it, mate. Wild Soul says, "Thanks for doing this, Rafi." You know what? It's about getting content out there, getting good content out there for the good boxing customers.
I mean, and we had a look at a fight the other day, Cleveland Williams and Sonny Liston. If you actually look at their dimensions and their physiques, they've got So you've got like Cleveland Williams, 6'2", 215 pounds, and he was around a 10% body fat level.
Yeah.
Well, that's an FFMI of 25.
Yeah,
possibly 26, depending on his body fat. So, you know, the supposed natural limit is not. It's not a very accurate natural limit.
No.
And B, we are talking about some of the best athletes in the world. So is it surprising that they can achieve, you know, physiques around the limits of the natural limit? And anyone who sees it first AJ Dillian fight, Dillian was a tank when he was a young man.
Absolutely.
His problem is he's got bad eating habits, and at some point as you get older, it'll get to you.
Well, I was going to bring that point up. You see, I think there's a misconception. People thinking about building muscle. One of my cousins, not the cousins I talk about with the family, with the 6 boys and 4 of them are muscular. Not that one. Another one. He was always a fit lad when we were younger. And then I didn't see him a few years, moved down to the Big Smoke, called the Big Smoke London, and didn't see him for a few years. And came back up and he was chunky, fat. You'd have to say he was fat. And I don't know. I think, we've always had this, there's certain people you got this little competitiveness with, it's like Lennon and McCartney. We used to do music in our young days, and I don't know. I think maybe there's some Lennon and McCartney thing going on between us, more so on his side. But he went away. Didn't see him for another year. When he came back, the guy had the shape of a sprinter. He'd gone back. He turned the clock back to his original physique. And I said, well, how did you do it? What method did you use? And he said he just went jogging regularly and swam at lunchtime. No weights, 0 weight. All he had to do to get in muscular condition was cut fat. That's all he had to do. And dude looked like a sprinter just by cutting fat, no weight. So I put it to you. What I'm saying to the people is don't undervalue the act of cutting fat if you are naturally a muscular individual. John D. Lee.
Well, that's completely. I mean, I'd probably suspect that Dillian's a lot stronger now that he's fat. Go and look at a powerlifting competition. None of them tend to look very ripped unless they're really struggling to make weight. Having the appearance of a bodybuilder also doesn't necessarily make you physically stronger. On top of that, you can have 2 guys, same weight, similar physique, and one is stronger than the other. And gear's not involved. There's so many different variables that come into it. Yeah. Dillian, look, in that picture, Tyson Fury has hair. Yeah. A good head of hair. We're talking at least 10 years ago. So Dillian was like early 20s.
Yes.
I would expect most people can remember in their early 20s eating as much, drinking whatever they wanted, and not getting fat. At some point, I think for everybody, that changes. The only people you won't see it happen to are people who have good diets. Yeah. Some people will have grown up with good diets and just don't like sugar. Because if you're not used to sugar, it's actually not that nice.
For real.
That's one of the worst things. Some people don't drink, which again is one of the other biggest things that will make you get fat.
Yeah.
And we know Dillian likes his food. Like, look at what he did on MasterChef.
I never watched it, but I have to.
I saw some of his recipes. I don't really watch TV, but the fact is, he likes cooking. He loves food. It's something that he likes.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people like that have a tendency to get big.
Pure and simple. Pure and simple. Is this too big? That's why I can't take it back. I think that's what it is. I think it's too big. That's why I can't take it back. If I reduce it dramatically, am I going to be there we go. That's so this was 2013. I put the time, I estimate the time of that picture we just saw. Are you seeing the fight right now?
Yeah, I can see the fight.
Cool, because sometimes I got things blocking it I don't realize. So I estimate the time to 2010, 10 years ago, up to 2013 as the time of the picture.
I think Tyson's hair's already started to go.
It's already started to go. It's already.
The other one, it looked like it was pretty full.
Well,
look at the better condition Tyson's in here as well, because he's a younger man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tyson's never going to be body beautiful, but he's not ridiculously overweight in this, is he?
Not ridiculously overweight at all. Oh dear.
Daisy.
Whoops. Whoops. So what about this guy here? Is he on it as well?
Oh, I'm just sick of all of this nonsense. Like
Cunningham on it as well.
What?
Look at Cunningham. Look at that. Why is Cunningham not on it?
You know, I mean, it's also the proven benefits of steroids are not really that well proven to me in the boxing ring.
Yeah.
If you look at Evander Holyfield as a cruiserweight and look at him as a heavyweight, I can't see any significant increase in punching power.
Yeah.
However, I believe that pretty much all the time he got in the ring, he was actually the physically stronger man in terms of lifting weights.
Yeah, could easily have been.
But it didn't translate to punching power. This is what people don't understand.
Yeah, exactly.
It just doesn't. Makes no odds. How much you can deadlift or bench press or any of that isn't going to affect how hard you hit, how hard you punch, as much as good technique and speed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you're sacrificing speed because you're doing too much weight training, you're probably going to lose power. Look at Deontay Wilder, his last fight.
Yeah.
He couldn't put Tyson down. He landed on him. He'd put on, what, 20 pounds? 10 pounds?
Yeah, 20 pounds.
Of muscle. It didn't make him hit any harder.
No.
So, you know, everyone just... Deontay Wilder never gets accused of steroids.
I don't know why, because his weight fluctuates so much. I don't know why. I don't understand why.
What's most interesting is his weight went down when he signed up to the clean boxing program,
which people don't seem to talk
That's
about.
a bigger indication of steroid abuse, and
That's a huge indicator.
Yeah, because what you'll find is some people hold muscle mass, others don't. Also, Deontay Wilder naturally he's around the sort of 200 pound, 210 pound mark.
Yeah.
Why he fought as a heavyweight in the amateurs? He didn't fight as a super heavyweight because that's not his natural limit. AJ, when he was a skinny amateur, was still weighing, you know, at least 220, 210.
Yeah.
So he's naturally a bigger guy. So is Tyson. Tyson's naturally a big guy. So is Dillian. Dillian might not be tall, but he's naturally a big guy. If you look at him as an amateur, and as what type of kickboxing was he doing? You'd know that.
Yeah, he was doing kickboxing and
mixed K1
MMA. Yeah.
He was
doing MMA as well, though.
Yeah, he was doing all sorts, wasn't he? But what was he British champion at?
Kickboxing. K1 is just the organization, so it was kickboxing.
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, kickboxing.
But if you look at him at that age, Dillian's the type of guy who naturally is big. He's also the type of guy who gets fat easily at this age.
Yes,
but maybe when he was in his early 20s, he wasn't like that.
Well, I'll add. We say fat easily, but really, he has admitted in an interview, yeah, he can get in shape. He added something about the cakes. He added a statement about the cakes. So it's not that. I think he's just got a bad diet. I don't think he has an athlete's diet.
Well, I definitely think that food is his guilty pleasure.
Yeah,
because of the way. Because obviously, when Dillian was having a rough time in the wake of what happened against Oscar Rivas, he turned to food. I mean, it actually baffles my mind that Oscar Rivas isn't touted as someone on steroids. The man's 6'1". What does he weigh? 230 or 240 pounds.
Yeah, his muscular development is ridiculous. I'm not saying he is, but I'm just saying he's muscular ridiculous.
His FFI is way over 25.
Way.
I mean, once people are at 27, I start to get suspicious. I mean, look at Primo Carnera there. You can see he's got full visible abs.
Yep.
See the striations across all his muscles.
Yep.
6'5", 260 pounds. The man's bigger than AJ, and this is before even testosterone was isolated, let alone Debo was invented.
So let me butt in there. So I asked the people once again. I know we're doing this live at an unusual time. I don't do lives where it's the COVID era, so why not? So I put it to you, the people. Was Primo Carnero on the Juicy? Was Primo Carnero Juicy what year is this anyway? I don't know. Prior to them even having.
It's possible that photo is 1935. So that's the year testosterone got isolated by SIBA.
Right.
So you tell him, but if there's photos of him like that in 34 before it was isolated.
Exactly. and
So
it was experimental. It wasn't. It hadn't reached. It wasn't far reaching yet. That was some experimental shizzle.
that's just, they were just trying to
Yeah.
isolate it.
Right.
At that point, they hadn't really necessarily tested it on any subjects. That came later.
Mm-hmm.
The initial tests with testosterone weren't very favorable for athletic performance because John Grimmick was actually test subject on testosterone. It failed.
Right.
And that's what led to the development of Debo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you see, people, so my question to the people is, was Primo Carnero, seen in this picture here, in the 30s, 1930s, was he juicy? Was he juicy, or simply naturally aspirated? I say naturally aspirated. It was too early for him
It's
to.
scientifically impossible for him to have taken steroids. I'll go and get a link, Raph.
You don't have to get a link now. You can put it in later, tomorrow, or the day after.
Yeah, I'll just stick it out. I mean, the facts are, however good or bad a boxer he was,
yeah,
he had a more impressive physique than AJ.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
quite clear in that picture.
Yeah,
but if it's not more, it's equal to. But he's actually a bigger man.
He's a bigger man.
At a shorter height.
Yeah. And look at the cheekbones. Look at the cheekbones there. Very, very visible. Minimal flesh, fat on the face. It's a lean, big, ripped guy. We've had people on here say it's impossible for a guy to be that big and carry that much muscle. But what people fail to realize is sometimes, or people have people naturally carry different levels of natural untrained muscle. So you get a guy who's naturally inclined to be heavily muscled, regardless of what he's doing. If he's sitting behind a table, sitting behind a desk, doing a 9-to-5 computer, then and he's not doing anything outside of work, then that could be a fat guy. You could be walking past what looks like a fat guy, but let that fat guy get into an exercise regimen, a rigorous exercise regimen that lasts for years. Don't even have to last for years. It's months, and you'll see a remarkable difference. Okay, we got a guy I've never heard of called Got Milk in the background. Yeah, Got Milk. Write something in the comment section, my friend. Write something in the comment section, and we'll see who you actually are. Go ahead and do that now. Hold on, private chat. It's okay. Okay. Good thing you said that. Good thing you said that. Mr. Got Milk, how is your day today?
I'm doing well, Raph. This is RGM. I know you know it's me, but just letting the listeners know. And real quick, how do I sound?
You sound good.
Yeah, sound good, Red. You're okay.
All right. Well, the reason why I'm asking is I just bought these headphones.
Okay.
And I wanted to test the quality of the microphone. So I'm just curious, is it better or Raph, I think you've heard me a little bit more than John.
Yeah.
Would you say it's a little bit better than normal or the same?
I would say it's a little bit muffled, but it also on the flip side that it is better than normal.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And what is the topic?
Well, we're looking, topic. That's a good question. Let me put the banner up, and let me put the picture up. Boom, boom, boom. Can you see the picture?
Yeah, it's brother in arms. Okay. So we're talking about Dillian Whyte and Tyson Fury.
Yeah, this picture has caused a lot of controversy. I put a video out yesterday, and it caused a very, very interesting response. Let me see if I can roll that video now. Let me see if I can share that video. Let me enlarge it. What the hell? the hell? That might have been a bad idea. Let me bring that back down and share it with you so you can see the better version of the picture. Let's share this thing. Let's bring all these things down. You know, really and truly, when I think about this Shizniks, they could really. That's why Joe Rogan has Jamie. He's got that guy Jamie to do all the technical stuff while he's just talking. All he has to do is talk. But with this, I'm doing all the technical stuff and talking at the same time. And damn, it really requires some serious multitasking skills. In a few seconds, it should appear on your screen, the uninterrupted picture. It's a 15-second delay on YouTube. They say it's only 10, but it's actually 15. And people are doing their nut. People are saying, hold on a second. He was on something there. And they say that, they're saying, but what's interesting to me is they're saying that Dilly was juicy. They even say, oh, so if Dilly was juicy in that picture, and one guy in the comment section says he's juicy, he reminds me of AJ, lol. And then another guy comes and says after him, well, that tells me that AJ is juicy too. So you've got one guy so AJ gets roped in. So you got three guys now. Let's imagine AJ's over here. So you got three guys in one picture. Only one of them have ever been proven guilty of being juicy. Only one. But yet, the one who has been found guilty of being juicy is the only one that people are not mentioning as being juicy. And that boggles my mind.
That's not 100% true, Raph.
Okay, yeah, carry on.
Dillian has been busted for substance abuse,
but it was
but it wasn't a steroid as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The only one who has been busted for actual being juicy is the only one who is not being said is juicy.
Well, everybody seems to think as having any form of visible abs mean that you're taking gear.
It's mad.
Well, I mean, if that's the case,
insane.
If that's the case, then Deontay Wilder, we could say the same thing about Deontay Wilder. He has probably better form than all these guys. Well, with the exception of AJ, he probably has better form than all these guys. So we can make the same assumptions. But here's the thing. You're innocent till proven guilty. I understand having your reserves. You know, I've heard a lot of fans say, I think all these guys are on something. You know what? I can respect that. But when you pick and choose based on the guys you like and you don't like, that's what I don't respect. Just because these guys are from the UK or they've taken pictures together doesn't mean just because one of them has tested for something doesn't mean that they're all on something. That's just not how it works. You're not guilty by association. You're not guilty by proxy.
Yeah.
Red, did you see the picture of Primo Canero we had up earlier?
No, I didn't. I just literally came in.
I'm going to try and bring it up again.
Yeah. Well, the point about Primo Canero is he was boxing before testosterone was isolated in the factory. I think the one of him, Skipping's the best one, right?
Yeah, I'm bringing that up.
Yeah. And this is like around 1934. Testosterone was isolated in 1935. And D-bol, what the first, if people don't know what D-bol is, it's Danabol. It's the first anabolic steroid developed by York Barbell and Sieber in the 50s. So there's no way he was on steroids, and it's pretty much impossible that he was on testosterone either, because he got his physique like that before testosterone was isolated. He's clearly got visible abs, striations all through his muscles, and he's bigger than AJ.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah,
That's the thing, though. Fans need to get out of their feelings.
Yeah.
And if you take the stance that you think all of them are on something and they're just getting around the testing, that's fine. But yeah, you can't just pick and choose. Me, I'm not a Deontay Wilder fan by any means, but I've never once accused him of being on something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because I'm not going to let my distaste for the man get in the way of my judgment. And he's not the only one. Canelo Alvarez, who has actually tested. I don't like Canelo Alvarez, but the clenbuterol thing has been some years ago at this point. He hasn't tested positive since. I'm going to assume that he's clean until tests suggest otherwise. And that goes for any boxer, whether I like them, whether I don't, whether I'm indifferent. It's just you have to have integrity. I guess that's the best way I could put it. It all comes down to your integrity, and if you're going to, if you have a channel or you're in the comments and you're consistently trying to downgrade a boxer, and then you're going to accuse them of cheating, whether it be PEDs or by other means, and there's no proof, I can only assume that you are, and this is a word I don't use a whole lot, but that you're a hater.
Absolutely. And the funny thing is, before I posted up the picture, let's get that picture back. Let's stop sharing. I'm my own technician. Let's get that picture back up. Before I posted up the picture, I thought to myself, that's not really a particularly good one. I need to share the video screen where it is unhindered. Yeah, the thing is that when I posted up the picture, I thought, this should get some interesting responses. And surely enough, I was not disappointed. I was not disappointed. That's exactly what happened. Just because a guy in his early 20s is an athlete and showing visible abs, that somehow is an indicator of being juicy. I found that utterly preposterous.
We don't get this at lower weights, do we?
No.
And everybody has visible abs at lower weights because they've been trying to make weight.
Yeah.
Why is it so difficult for people to understand that visible abs have got more to do with your body fat than your steroid abuse? You could take steroids, lift loads of heavy weights, eat loads of junk food, and be a fat person, like a lot of powerlifters are. Actually,
it's a good thing you brought that up because damn, this thing is taxing me today. I feel heavily taxed, bouncing from window to window, bouncy, bloody bouncy. But I'm going to share it again. I'm going to share something pertinent to the point you just made. If I can find, there it is. Takes about 15 seconds for YouTube to catch up while it's being recorded live. You'll see it straight away. Let's get into the description of this substance that was mentioned. Let's scroll down. Don't want chemical structure. Don't want common names. We're looking for main uses. Because it's a testosterone-derived compound, the D-ball has a very straightforward action in the human body in a performance-enhancing setting. What are we talking about? Mass gain. There are two areas of D-ball, and one is a mass gain. If you have always been a hard gainer, you see, hard gainer, neither of those guys are hard gainers. They're big fellas. I don't suspect either of them are hard gainers. What's for sure, I don't expect Dillian Whyte to be a hard gainer. But it says if you are, this is what D-ball's used for. If you are have always been a hard gainer, then D-ball will move the scales in no time. So what we're talking about is weight gain. And I put it to you, folks, that gaining weight is not the name of the game. Neither of those fellows wanted to gain weight.
Rafi,
Guys, anyway.
If you look a bit lower, it says your gain will be water and glycogen.
Well, I'm coming down to that, John.
Yeah, good.
I'm coming to that, John. Where are we? Okay. I'm going to get into the chat in a second. A little bit of controversy brewing. I will address that in a second. It is hands down one of the most effective mass gaining compounds of all times. And I reiterate, weight gain at the heavyweight is not the name of the game. I mean, you know, somebody might say, well, Evander wanted to gain weight. But I put it to you that certainly that was not the case for Dillian Whyte, a big guy anyway, natural heavyweight. So there are people who trash the saying that all the mass you gain will be water and glycogen. That's not strictly true. It is true that D-ball will cause water retention and you will lose some of the water when you go off it. But you can make some gains on it while you're on it. But once again, I put it to you that the picture we've seen is not indicative of D-ball strength. D-ball rivals Winstrol in increasing strength. You will cruise through plateaus and set new personal bests on the track. You will be stronger and faster than ever before. Also, these gains occur fast, almost dramatic, if that's the right way to put it. Most first-timers on D-ball are surprised at how fast they can rack up the plates on the rod. So what's the use of D-ball? Mass gains and strength gains. I put it to you that mass gain is not the name of the game in boxing.
I think there's more to it than just that as well, Rafi, because the strength gains putting plates on a barbell don't translate to powering your punch.
There we go.
And we've just mentioned the classic example. He's one of my favorite boxers of all time at cruiserweight, but as a heavyweight, I think Evander lost something, and I think it's partly to do with what I believe was his mindset. Evander was. I think it's a widely known story that he got the better of Mike Tyson in the Olympic sparring.
Right.
When they're on the Olympic team together. Mike Tyson was actually competing in the Olympics, but I think he was a second. He was part of the sparring team anyway.
Yeah.
And no one else could live with him. And Evander was at a lighter weight at the time. And he seemed to be obsessed with taking on the big man and the bully. And I would put it to people that actually the reason Evander gained weight and put mass on was because he had a little bit of little manitis in him. And he wasn't comfortable in his own skin and at his own strength level. But it never translated into punching power. Ever. He was never a big puncher when he put the mass on.
Yeah.
However he did it, you know, he never failed a test, but the indicator to me of someone having heart problems in the middle of a boxing ring is an indicator to me. And I like Evander. I've got a lot of time for him.
Yeah.
But I think he is a potential person to look at for steroid abuse.
Yeah.
Particularly if you look at the androgen centers, his traps and doubts are just off the charts.
Yeah.
And people who don't know about androgen centers, in a man, the androgen centers are areas that will be stimulated by hormones to produce muscles, and your traps and doubts are two of the biggest ones that respond particularly well to steroid abuse.
Yeah.
But Evander, when I think Evander was natural at cruiserweight, and he still had naturally big traps anyway.
Yeah.
So you know, it's not proof. is just a bit of a red flag.
Mm.
But however he put the mask on, however that mask came on his body, it never translated into him being a better boxer or a better puncher.
Certainly not. Certainly.
If anything, his boxing was worse.
Mm.
And I didn't see any noticeable improvement in his punching power. Yet he could push Mike Tyson around the ring. He could, pick up other large heavyweights and throw them around and wrestle them.
Yeah.
But that's all it was good for. What didn't improve him as a boxer?
For real. Red Glove Militant, are you still with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Good. Because we come into the close. As you know, over here at Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio, we're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time. Good time talking boxing and boxing related matters. I think have you got any final words on this whole Picturegate? That's what it really is. It's Picturegate. I call it Picturegate. It's Picturegate now.
Yeah, here's my final words on the matter. Until he, is tested guilty for something that he doesn't later on get cleared of, he's, as far as I'm concerned, he's an innocent man. Once they test dirty for something and they're not later on exonerated for it, then that's when they become, a drug cheat. And they serve their bans, they come back, and as long as they don't cheat again, then it is what it is. We can't have an axe to grind just because they tested positive at one time. That's my whole thought on it. Also, thank you so much for having me, Raph. I greatly appreciate it.
100%. Always good to have the Red Glove Militant up in the building. He's a supporter of the channel. He uses the channel, watches the channel, he jumps on the channel. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. But don't go just yet. John Dealey, your final words on the topic, the Picturegate.
People just need to get over this idea you can tell if someone's on steroids by the eye test. They all need to go and look at pictures of Erkan Temper and put them next to pictures of Primo Carnera.
Yeah.
One was caught with a full pharmaceutical in his flat.
Yeah.
One of the biggest steroid users, Tony Thompson. Look at his physique.
Ripped.
And most of the time when I see boxers getting caught on steroids, they have unimpressive physiques.
Yeah.
And what it says to me is they're taking steroids, and by steroids I mean things that make you bigger and stronger, not other drugs that could give you an edge.
Yeah. We just say juicy over here. I've watched some.
Well, I was just making it very clear, just in case anybody wasn't sure.
Well, yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. Usually they're doing it as a shortcut because they don't want to put in the hard work. They see someone with a good physique and they think, oh, well, they must just be taking gear. But it just doesn't work like that. It's not how it works. And people need to go off and do some training and see the results they can get naturally themselves, and then realize, but if I do a little bit of training, I can get some good results. Maybe someone who trains for 8 hours a day can actually look like that. It's possible.
Yeah, and when we say training, I want to be clear. I'm not talking about going in the gym and messing about, sitting down and doing some curls, and then going to another machine and doing some messing about, doing some pec flies on the machine and looking around and waiting for 10 minutes between sets. And when I say training, I'm talking about hitting the treadmill for half an hour. I'm talking about doing some basic dips, pull-ups or chins, whichever you want to call them, and doing some, so we say jumping squats, doing some jumping squats. Okay, so here's your recipe. Here's your simple recipe. Start the program where you go in the gym and you run on the treadmill, jog, whatever, for half an hour, and then do some dips and chins and jumping squats. And if you want to do some crunches, by all means, go ahead and do some crunches, and go ahead and do some bent over rows, or or bent over rows, or am I going to say some deadlifts? I'm not going to say deadlifts because that's not suitable for everybody. Let's call them rack pulls then. Go ahead and do some bent over rows or rack pulls. So that's only 5 exercises. That's only 5 exercises. Do that for 4 months. Do that for 4 months and tell me, come back and tell me the difference. As a matter of fact, take a picture of yourself with your shirt off before you start, and then take a picture of yourself 6 months later after doing that very, very simple program, and then we'll talk.
And just so people know, Rafi's going easy on you with that.
I'm going. That's very rudimentary stuff. That's the simplest you could ask for. Eric is in the building. Eric, how do you do?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, mate. We just jumped on for a quick one. Ended up turning into an hour and a half one, but still, you know, it's Picturegate. It's Picturegate. It's people are losing their minds over this picture.
Yeah, this picture was years ago though, and Dillian Whyte actually used to be small. He used to be like that when he was kickboxing, when he first started kickboxing. So
yeah,
the picture itself, I think people are reading a bit too much into it. In my opinion, I'm not a massive Dillian Whyte fan, but I seriously think they're reading into it. You've got to realize the guy was a lot younger than what he is now, and he will pack on muscle quickly. I do the same. Whenever if I start going to the gym and training, I pack on muscle and define quite quickly.
Yeah,
so I think they're reading into it a bit too much, but it's easy to do that this day and age, especially with what's going on.
It's very easy to do that in this day and age. A lot of people are sitting down on their derrieres and they don't hit the gym, and if they do hit the gym, they're not really burning fat, so they don't get much, if any, definition. What I say is go to the gym, run for 20, start off running for 20 minutes, and then build up to 30, jogging, sprinting, intervals, and walking. When you get out of breath, then start running again. Don't take more than 30 seconds walking, and then go over to the dips rack. Go and do some dips, 4 sets of however many you can manage. Then hit the chins, 4 to 5 sets of however many you can manage. Probably won't be many. And then go on ahead to the rack pull. Deadlifts don't suit everybody's back, so rack pulls are safer. Go ahead, do some rack pulls, 4 sets of however many you can manage safely. And tell me, take a before and after picture at the week, day 1, and then take a picture 6 months later. Obviously, you're going to cut out your donuts and whatnot, your whatever it is that you eat, your cookies, cut out the crap out your diet, and you will look like a totally different person. So to say a professional athlete in his early 20s, where's the picture gone? To say a professional athlete in his early 20s is not going to, can't look, let me get the picture back up, can't look or won't look like, is it? Like that when it comes up on your screen, is totally and utterly ludicrous.
Yeah, I agree. The guy was kickboxing then as well, so he was always training anyway.
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, I think long story short, people really need to check themselves. Really need to check themselves and think about what they're saying. That a guy who's working out for hours per day, 6 days a week, is not going to look in good shape. He's not going to look in extremely good shape. And then we're going to finish with this. Okay, there's some controversy going around. There's, some slanderous statements going around. H Money has been making some accusations about a guy who I've been aware of for some time, commented in some of his some of his comment sections, and the accusation is that the man is a racist. And I feel that it's only appropriate that I put my 2 penneth worth on this sensitive subject matter. And it is as follows. My official statement is as follows. Okay, so I have never, in my time of being aware of Julius and this channel, I have never, ever felt that he was being in any way racist. So that's my official statement. I feel I had to say something because, H Money frequents this channel. He's been on the channel. And I just want to make it clear that I totally separate myself from that allegation, which I have never had any rise to feel that he was that way inclined. I mean, the guy originates from the Caribbean, or is it the Dominican Republic? Dominican Republic. That's a mixed race country. That country is mixed race. It's a mixture of races. That doesn't mean somebody who comes from there can't feel, one way or the other. But I have never had any cause. I've never seen anything that's made me feel that the man in question, Julius, is in any way racist. That's just my official statement. Yeah, carry on, Eric.
I was on his live last night when H Money came on and was calling him a racist, and the guy never said or did or. Well, I was listening to his live for around 3 hours before I actually jumped on the live.
Damn.
And not once did he sound insinuated or anything that he's being racist. And I watch most of his videos as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy is not racist.
No.
H Money's got one of these things like if a YouTuber at this moment in time right now isn't black, he's gonna go on to them and call them racist. He did it with Unrivaled, and he's just done it with Julius. So he's, and like you said, like you addressed it, if he's putting your name involved in that, saying that you've whatever, what's he said, that you've said that he's a racist as well.
No, he hasn't said that, has he?
He put something in the chat saying that Ralph has exposed him.
Ralph, me, in this chat. He said that in this chat.
Yeah, I'm sure I've just read it. I'll have a look now.
I haven't seen anything of that nature, but no, I think Raphael. No, he says Raphael. He says Raphael. I exposed Ring IQ for being racist. I've got it up on the screen.
Yeah, I read it. I read it wrong. Yeah.
Let me.
I read it wrong.
Let me speak on that. Exposure. In order for someone to get exposed, you have to provide proof.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, H Money, you have not provided a single shred of proof. So at this point, it's 100% allegations. All right. If you have no clip of Julius saying anything racist, you can't just come on here and accuse him of being a racist.
Mm.
That's actually a very terrible thing to do, because you're slandering his name with no proof. If there's proof that he's a racist, if he has said certain things that would be considered racist, then yes, he should be exposed for that. Yeah. But guess what? He hasn't. And until you provide that proof, you're making an allegation. The burden of proof is on you.
Yeah.
If you're not providing that proof, then all it is gossip, and gossip is worth nothing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I listen to Julius a lot. And
I do as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you can't tell, I'm a white person. But my kids are mixed race, and I've never ever heard anything off Julius other than a love of boxing. He doesn't seem to care about gender, race, background. He cares about boxing. I've never picked up anything else from him. I don't know if anyone else has. But that's all I've ever seen.
No, I haven't. I haven't at all.
Yeah, never. Because H Money has been on the channel of late, I just felt that it was appropriate that I make an official statement on the allegations, and my official statement is no, I do not support the allegations because I find them to be baseless and without foundation.
When you started talking, Raphael, I thought you was actually going to say a different channel. I was pretty shocked when you said that.
I'm also a minority in the United States, and I've never heard him say anything remotely racist, and I've been subbed to him since he had 130 subscribers.
Yeah, you thought I meant a different channel, John? What you mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of other ones. That I've spoken to you about in the past, and you know there are some out there that
there are some
white channels that I would describe as overtly racist. Really,
yeah.
I'm not going to get into.
We're not gonna be.
I'm not going to get into any naming or shaming or any of that.
Yeah, there is a couple I've seen, but I just don't go on their channels if it's like that. It's the same.
I'm like that, and it's the same with the LGBC. If I hear
exactly.
anything along those sort of lines, just don't want to know.
Yeah, I don't go on the channel. If I don't like your content, I'm not going to watch your channel. I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch
Julius actually has proof that H Money said that he's running his channel the right way. Julius, that is. So, there's proof of you actually supporting Julius. And now all of a sudden you're making these allegations with no proof. So if anybody got exposed, I'm not going to say you got exposed, H Money, but I'm not trying to be controversial here, but I'm going to say this: if anybody did get exposed, it's the person that didn't have proof by the person who did have proof.
Damn.
Yeah, Julius made a video this morning about it, with H Money actually saying he's running his channel right and everything. So
yeah, so
it's quite funny.
So here in the United States, in the court of law, you have to have proof. Okay, and this isn't a court of law, but I think that that's a very good practice, not to believe just by word of mouth, but to believe by actual proof. If there's video, if there's audio, something that is undeniable, then yes, then we can say, all right, you were onto something. But when you say these things, but there's no video or audio, and then the person you are accusing has video and audio of you, supporting him, even if you were right, that means you were supporting a racist at that point. I don't think you want to go down that road. But the reality is this: there is proof that you supported him. It would behoove you to not call him a racist, because then you're dragging your own name in the mud.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. 100%. Shouldn't do that. You shouldn't go around calling people such serious names unless you have supportive evidence. And in this case, in the case of Julius H Money, my friend, I find your claims without any supporting evidence to be baseless. Is there anyone who wants to add anything as we put this baby to sleep?
No, not really. I'm gonna jump off anyway. I've got a bit busy right now, but thanks for having me on as usual.
100%. We'll be on Friday again, 9 p.m. Friday, 9 p.m. UK time in boxing talk and classic fight review. And that was Eric. Eric, thank you for jumping on, my friend. Hopefully you'll be on here again very shortly. And then there was 3 red gloved militant. Your final words, sir.
I think I've said everything I need to say, other than everybody, if you're not subscribed to Raph, go ahead and subscribe right now. You won't be disappointed. And also, if your like button is not looking blue, then you need to do something about that.
100%. That was the Red Glove Militant, very supportive, and he's got his own channel, so don't be shy about going there and take a little looky. Go over there and take a little looky. Red Glove Militant shall speak to you again very shortly, my friend.
Yes, definitely. Yes, yes, yes.
And that was the Red Glove Militant. And then there were two. John D. Lee. It's gone a bit longer than I anticipated. I thought a little 45-minute thing, but it's gone twice the length, over twice that length. But we had to get the good word out there. We had to get the message out there. We have to talk to the people. John D. Lee.
Well, hopefully people have been able to see with their own eyes what's possible without steroids as well today.
Yeah.
And they just need to get over it.
Yeah.
I'm going to sound like an old fart now. It seems to be an issue with young people. If you actually get into professional bodybuilders who are open about their steroid abuse and where they got to before they made the decision to start taking them, you will realize that they probably had more impressive physiques than Anthony Joshua before they even started taking gear.
There you go.
And Jay Cutler, who obviously took a large amount of steroids, when he was at high school, before he even started weight training, was able to bench press 300 pounds because he did concrete in 12-hour shifts with his family business every weekend as a kid growing up. So to just, thank you, Raph. It's been pretty cathartic for me. I've needed to get this off my chest for a while.
Well, you know, I put the bait out there, dangled the bait in the water, and sure enough, they came up like piranha fish. Okay, you're going to see it from John Dealey again on Friday, 9 p.m. UK time. We do our boxing talk and classic fight review. Got a couple of goodies. Well, we got a goodie lined up for you. John Dealey, speak to you tomorrow, mate.
Have a good evening, Raph.
You too, mate. You too. Take care. Okay. So, and then there was one. What's going on here? So, Tony Review says, "Lol, what's up, Red? You're on like every boxing channel. Red gets around. Red Glove Militant, he gets around. He jumps in, makes his contribution. Good stuff. Good stuff." Ray says, "I'm more Coco Brown, if you ask anybody." What's this one say? If you go back far enough in time, say 100,000 years, we were all one. We were all once from the same race. And if we could go into the future, I'm sure we'll all eventually be the same skin tone. Dang, that's a good message. That's a good message. While Soul comes back in, he was in the beginning and he's here at the end. Wilder is not on the juice. Okay, Wild Soul. I take it, Wild Soul, you're his physician. I don't think anybody said he was. I hear what you say. Rays, I'm a huge fan. All respect to you and everybody else in the chat. All boxing fans who like calm, rational, reasoned, intelligent debate. This is the home of it. It's the Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. And thank you for everybody who jumped on this impromptu show. If you didn't catch it from the beginning, go ahead and do so at your convenience. Don't forget about the live show, Boxing Talk with Rafi, 9 p.m. UK time, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Is there anything else left for me to say? I think we covered it. I think I said everything I wanted to. And the only thing left for me to say is, it's the like, it's the subscribe, it's the comments, it's the shares. It's the hitting the bell icon to stay updated with news and notifications. It's the Wild Soul. It's the Troy Graham. It's the Ray Rays. It's the Buzz Lightyear. It's the Tony Reviews. And the Benny Leonard, the PC Jacob. I haven't seen PC Jacob around in a while. It's Mr. Squiggly. It's the Iron, what is that? Iron Kong. It's Mr. Spooks. It's Patrick. It's Hamid. And many, many, many more. Of course, it's the Red Glove Militant. It's the John D. Lee. It's the Eric. And to anyone who I forgot, it's the David Douglas. Anyone who I forgot, hey, your name's down there somewhere. Your name's down there somewhere. And all that's left for me to say is blessed.